On the agenda tonight, we're going to be answering the question of whether Taylor Swift has been miming on her 2024 to 2025 world tour. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So this all kicked off a few months ago because I received a lot of emails when Dave Grohl was performing live and insinuated that Taylor Swift didn't sing live on her world tour. And I'm sure that you got a huge backlash from Taylor Swift fans. Whenever you say something like that, it's subjective, and if you don't have proof and objective data to back up what you're saying, of course, people are going to accuse you of lying or making false comments and all that kind of stuff. So this analysis really is going to prove whether Dave was correct with his assessment or whether he was incorrect, because we just deal with objective data here. So what I have done is taken one song from her tour and we're going to listen to multiple performances of that song from different shows around the world, and I've isolated the vocals, run them through the pitch monitoring software, so we're looking at objective pitch data millisecond by millisecond to show whether her vocal is indeed the same audio file being played back at every show, or at least the shows that we have here, or whether she's performing and singing fully live and every single one of the performances is a new live vocal. So we're going to listen now to Taylor's performances from Liverpool, Portugal, Tokyo, and a live performance that she's using, or they are using, in a trailer for her live show. So it's showing part of a performance. So we've got 4 separate performances here, all playing back at the same time. So have a listen and see what you think just by having this subjective determination with your ears. Let's listen.
You couldn't pick me up, no headlights. Long drive. Is it burning things for paradise? Within the view, oh, it's been a while since I have eaten perfume. Perfume. And I should just leave you leave, cause I know exactly where it leads, but I want to go round and round each time. You got that chance, Steve, take a tree, look in your heart, and I got that.
So anyway, you can hear that across all of these shows, we are perfectly in sync. Her vocal is starting at exactly the same time, finishing at exactly the same time. And you can even hear the crowd, singing along. That's something that you get at Taylor Swift gigs, is the crowd are always singing along. So, important point to bring up now, that when you are comparing the isolated vocals from all of these different shows, we've got different crowd noise going on all the time. The reason that this is important is because we have ambient noise that is different from every show. So it means that if we get vocal lines that match each other, the chances, it can't happen. Even with a clear vocal of a singer doing one performance, even just singing a few notes and then singing a few notes again, those vocal lines will not overlap in terms of the detail. Hundredths of a second of vocal cord vibrations. So it's impossible to sing over your vocal lines that you've just done. It very much is like a fingerprint. So anyway, with all of the ambient noise going on, that should throw it off even more. And just quickly, before I get all of the complicated stuff on screen, I just want you to listen to this vocal phrase. And again, these are 4 performances all layered on top of each other.
You couldn't pick me up, no headlights.
You can hear actually, on lights at the end, the vocal gets louder by exactly the same amount on all of the performances. And at the beginning, we have a plosive. It sounds like on the P, we have the air hitting the mic. That's what a plosive is. So the vocal is sounding like it's live, because that would be taken out in a studio vocal. You don't have plosives on final recordings or releases. Have a listen again. It's on Pick Me Up. So the plosive has been left in, which means it's going to sound like a live vocal, or it is a live vocal. And in this particular case, we've got 4 vocals all layered on top of each other from different shows, and they are perfect timing wise, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the same audio file being played back. So we're going to be taking a look at Taylor's performance from the UK, and this was her Liverpool show in June, and to be exact, it was the 13th of June at Anfield. So that's going to be on the right hand side of the screen, and then we're going to have the audio from the official trailer for the tour, which features this song, and it says the Taylor Swift Style official Eras tour music video. So we'll be comparing this audio and seeing what we can see.
Midnight, you come and pick me up, no headlights.
So I'm going to jump in already, because what we look out for when analysing the audio and looking at it through the pitch monitoring software are echoes. So what I'm going to do is move the Liverpool performance over to this side so that we can now compare these 2 audio effectively files as we're looking at them. And you can see here that we get what I would consider quite a startling echo with the pitch that's covered and how close these lines resemble each other. So I've just zoomed in a little bit so that you can see a little bit more clearly this area here. And because there's ambient noise on the live performances, of course, the lines are going to potentially be all over the place and nothing should match up, as I've already said. But when there is a spot where Taylor's vocal comes through clearly and the pitch monitoring software has picked up that vocal, this is where we can start to see that, I mean, this shouldn't overlap at all. It shouldn't be anywhere close. But then when we line up the pitch, we can see that it is a perfect replication. So that is something that's impossible to do with human vocal cords, to sing to that detail. We're looking at hundredths of a second here, and the pitch variation of 0 cents. So this is the same audio file, the same vocal that's being played back from the trailer and the Liverpool performance. So I'll let it play on a little bit more.
Long drive.
And I'm just going to jump in here again, because if we now take this next phrase and I move this across and then move it down, you'll start to see how, again, once I get this lined up, we get this kind of echo, especially in this spot here. So again, I've zoomed in so you can see it a little bit more clearly, and I'm talking about this part here and this part here looking very similar. And when we look at it in even more detail, you could say that here the pitch goes up, and again, we've got to account for all of the noise that's going on and people singing along and all that kind of stuff. So this kind of thing should never happen. But we kind of go up, and then we come down, and then we go up, and then we go down, and then we go up again. And these 2 lines are very similar. So I know people might say, what if, just through coincidence of me doing this analysis video, what if for the trailer of the tour and this song, they use the audio from Liverpool? And that's why it matches up, because it was literally that performance that they decided to use. So given this hypothesis, let's now bring on the vocal from Tokyo to see what that looks like. Because if it's a new vocal every time, it's going to look totally different, and it might just have been the trailer from Liverpool. So this is from Tokyo, and you'll start to see exactly the same thing going on. We're up here, down, just slightly sharp of the F sharp 4, I think that is. And then again, we've got this, and again, there's ambient noise going on here, so this should look nothing like the other version. And let me bring on Portugal as well. Can we have, yeah, so, and this is Portugal. And you can still see the same thing, even though it hasn't picked it up as clearly. We've got this telltale section here, and if I move this down, it's almost as if the lines are going to perfectly go over the top of each other. And so this is now Portugal, Tokyo, Liverpool, and the trailer audio for the tour on Taylor's official channel. We've got the same audio happening, the same vocal happening 4 times over. And just to clarify, when I say that it's the same audio, I mean the same audio file. So it's the same vocal that's been recorded in a studio to sound live because it's got the plosives left on there, but it's that same audio that's being mimed to. It is one vocal that's been pre-recorded before all of these performances that Taylor is then miming to. So as we kind of move it forward, what you'll see is this kind of thing here. Look out for this, F#4, where we are perfectly over this line. And something that I will say as well about the live performance and this vocal, it is heavily edited from a pitch perspective. I mean, it's borderline auto-tune. It might be auto-tune because it is so stuck on these lines. So this is a pre-recorded vocal that has been heavily pitch corrected, borderline auto-tuned. It's really difficult to show you because it's the same lines, because it's the same audio file. When I bring in Liverpool over the top of the trailer, when I bring it in, obviously you'll see the background change because you can see the Liverpool performance in the background. But look at these lines, when I'm now getting rid of it, how they are exactly the same, to the millisecond, to the 100th of a second, and you know, the pitch is perfect. So let's go to now Portugal, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. You'll see that now this is the trailer audio, the trailer vocal. I'm going to bring on the Portugal performance, and I mean, actually, let me get rid of the trailer because we might be able to see, yes, we can see the lines completing each other. So there you go, the pitch monitoring software, and because of the ambient noise, it only picked up this tiny section of Taylor's vocal. But then when we bring on the other vocal from the trailer, you can see how it perfectly completes itself because this same audio file has been used for these 4 performances. Those 3 live performances, irrespective of the trailer, have all got the same audio file, the same vocal that's being mimed to, and that is fact. This is objective data we are looking at. It's undeniable because the lines, they literally go over the top of each other and they complete each other, which is impossible to do unless it's the same audio file. So yeah, we've kind of busted that theory that they used one performance from one show for the trailer because it matches on other performances from the tour. So as I'm getting rid of this, you can see that, again, let me just emphasize all of the crowd noise and singing along that's going on. Nothing should match at all. But I'm going to now bring on the audio from Portugal, and you'll see how, I mean, you don't really, actually look at this point here, because you'll see when I bring on the Portugal vocal, how it completes it. It goes up at exactly the same time. So, I mean, that's the kind of thing that is absolutely undeniable. And actually, the Portugal audio here is going over the top here, and we get a little bit over the top here. So as I'm sure you guys can appreciate, I mean, we're only, 30 seconds into the performance, and we're getting vocal lines that are overlapping each other to the 100th of a second that are months apart in different countries on the tour. So it's definitely the same vocal that's being mimed to. And I can go through this whole thing, but this video would go on for absolutely years. We've already covered as much proof as we need to, but here we've got the trailer audio. Let me bring on Liverpool again, and yeah, here you go again. So there's ambient noise in this, so nothing should match up. And when I start to bring on the Liverpool one, even ever so slightly, you can see how, if you're looking very carefully here, this line is now magically connecting, and I mean, even at the end here, it then continues off. So that was Liverpool. Let me get rid of Liverpool and bring on Lisbon in Portugal, And, oh, now in Portugal, okay, the pitch monitoring software didn't scroll down, so we didn't see it very clearly. But importantly, if you look over here, and I might zoom in so you can see it a little bit more clearly. And again, this is with ambient noise going on. This perfect, overlapping, and just the angle of this particular line being absolutely spot on. So even though we've got a tiny bit of data in this particular section from Portugal, it still shows you that something is overlapping, that something's happening to the exact same hundredths of a second and the same pitch. And actually you can see in Tokyo, there's a lot more interference, a lot more ambient noise going on. But importantly, look at the way, again, with this line, how it gets completed. This now goes into that line from Tokyo. And if I move it, actually, let's move it up a little bit. Yeah, we have a perfect replication here. So it was actually over the top of it. So this is why I love working with objective data, because it will show you what it is. It's not a subjective opinion. It's not speculation. And it's not hearsay. And I know that a lot of people might have said at the beginning of this video, when I lined up all of the performances and played them back, they'd say, oh, well, it sounded identical, so you didn't need to do the rest of the analysis. I have to do the analysis to show you objectively that it is the same, because relying on ears means that you're now applying your own subjective opinion and what you're hearing. Everybody hears things differently. So again, that's subjective to how you're hearing it compared to somebody else hearing it. So we can say that Dave Grohl was entirely correct when he said that Taylor Swift is miming on her world tour, because now we have the objective data and the objective proof that it's the same audio file being played back in all of these different performances. I know that there's a bit of a deeper discussion to be had about this, and you guys can discuss this in the comment section, because I know that this tour of Taylor Swift's has made over $1 billion. And whether you think that a singer going out and not singing and charging the amount that might be being charged to go and watch a performance, whether you think that's right or not, that you think the person, in order to get that amount of money, should at least sing? Or do you think that it's fine, that you're quite happy paying a lot of money to go and see somebody dance? Because that's effectively, certainly with this song and the performances that we've analysed, you are just watching her dance, and that's what you're paying the money for in this particular case. So it's whether you're happy to do that or not, whether people who have been to watch her live, maybe they've assumed that she is singing, or maybe they're happy that she doesn't sing and they are literally just there to watch her move around on stage. Again, this is another subjective thing that everyone's going to have a different opinion of. We've proven that it's lip synced, that it's just somebody pressing play on an MP3 player behind the stage, and it's just played back at a really loud volume. So yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying that this vocal is the vocal from the recording, from the official release, because this has been made to sound live, because plosives and things that get removed have been left on. So it's made to sound like a live vocal. And again, you can discuss amongst yourselves whether you think that that is now being more deceptive, because they're trying to make it sound like it's not a pre-recorded vocal in the studio, whereas it is, and that's what's being mimed to. But anyway, thank you guys for requesting this particular analysis video, and of course for sending me all of the information, the different performances that have been happening during the world tour from different countries, so that I can put all of the information together and cross-check it and cross-reference it. So as always, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Keep those suggestions and requests for future analysis videos coming as well. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!